An old manor stood, alone, forgotten, consumed by shadows. It was perched atop a hill, overlooking a town that had long ago turned its back on it. The once vibrant paint was now peeling, revealing bare, weather-beaten wood. Windows once gleaming were now vacant eyes, staring out blindly. The manor was a testament to time's relentless passage, a silent sentinel guarding secrets best left undisturbed. A young woman, Maya, found herself at the foot of the hill. She had never imagined that she would be here, standing alone, facing the daunting climb ahead. The wind whipped through her hair, carrying with it the scent of rain and the promise of a storm. Her eyes, though filled with determination, betrayed a hint of the fear that gripped her heart. This was not a journey she had chosen willingly, but one that circumstances had thrust upon her. Circumstances had forced her to this desolate place, seeking refuge in the abandoned manor. The manor stood in stark contrast to the vibrant life she once knew. Its windows, dark and empty, seemed to watch her with a silent, eerie gaze. The walls, once grand and majestic, now crumbled under the weight of time and neglect. Yet it was her only hope, the only place she could think of to escape the chaos that had engulfed her life. A storm was brewing, mirroring the turmoil in her own heart. Dark clouds gathered ominously, casting long shadows over the landscape. The air was thick with tension, as if the very heavens were holding their breath. Each rumble of thunder echoed the conflict within her, a reminder of the storm she had left behind and the one she was walking into. The path ahead was uncertain, fraught with danger and the unknown. She had heard the local tales, whispers of the manor being haunted, a place of unspeakable horrors. But desperation outweighed fear. The stories spoke of ghosts and restless spirits, of shadows that moved on their own and voices that whispered in the dark. Yet in her heart, she knew that the true horrors lay not in the supernatural, but in the very real dangers that had driven her here. She had no choice but to face whatever awaited her within those walls. With a deep breath, she began her ascent, each step drawing her closer to the looming silhouette against the stormy sky. The climb was steep and treacherous, the path littered with rocks and debris. Her legs ached with the effort, but she pressed on, driven by a resolve she hadn't known she possessed. As she neared the top, the manor loomed larger, its dark outlines stark against the roiling clouds. She paused for a moment, gathering her courage, before taking the final steps towards her uncertain fate. The front door creaked open, yielding to Maya's push. Dust motes danced in the faint slivers of light that pierced the gloom. The air inside was heavy, thick with the scent of decay and the weight of forgotten memories. A sudden noise, a floorboard creaking above, sent a shiver down her spine. Her heart pounded in her chest. She was not alone. There were other inhabitants here, unseen, lurking in the shadows. Section 4. The Unveiling of Secrets. The manor stood tall, its once grand facade now cloaked in shadows and mystery. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the occasional creak of the old wooden beams. As Maya ventured deeper, each room unveiled fragments of the manor's past. The walls seemed to whisper secrets, tales of a time long gone. Dust-covered furniture and cobweb-laden chandeliers hinted at the opulence that once graced these halls. A faded portrait of a family, their eyes seemingly following her every move. The painting, though aged and cracked, held an unsettling presence, as if the souls of those depicted were still lingering within the frame. A child's doll, lying discarded on the floor, its porcelain face cracked and sinister. The doll's eyes, though lifeless, seemed to hold a story of their own, a silent witness to the events that had transpired within these walls. The manor was a treasure trove of stories, whispers of joy and sorrow, love and loss, all etched into its very fabric. Each room held a different chapter, a different emotion, waiting to be discovered by those brave enough to seek them out. But beneath these mundane remnants, a darker truth seemed to stir. Shadows danced in the corners, and an unsettling feeling of being watched pervaded the air. It was as if the manor itself was alive, guarding its secrets jealously, waiting for the right moment to reveal its true nature. Section 5, a brush with terror. A cold spot in the hallway, a sudden gust of wind extinguishing her candle, leaving her in absolute darkness. Panic swelled within Maya. The shadows seemed to writhe and twist, taking on menacing forms. She ran, her breath catching in her throat, fleeing from something she could not comprehend. The manor was toying with her, revealing its horrors in tantalizing glimpses, pushing her towards the brink. Section 6. Flight into the unknown. Finally, she stumbled upon a hidden room, tucked away at the end of a narrow corridor. A solitary window revealed the raging storm outside, mirroring the terror that raged within her. As she turned to leave, her blood ran cold. Scratched onto the dusty floorboards was a message, barely visible in the faint moonlight filtering through the window. "Don't look back." Section 7. A lingering unease. Maya fled the manor, her heart pounding in her chest, each step echoing the terror that gripped her soul. The night was thick with an oppressive darkness, and the air seemed to hum with a sinister energy. She could feel the weight of unseen eyes watching her every move, urging her to run faster, to escape the clutches of the malevolent force that lurked within those ancient walls. The storm receding as quickly as it had arrived, leaving behind a sky that was still heavy with the remnants of its fury. The clouds parted, revealing a pale, ghostly moon that cast an eerie glow over the landscape. She never looked back, her mind racing with the horrors she had witnessed. The manor, with its decaying grandeur and sinister presence, was now a distant silhouette against the horizon. But the memory of that night, of the whispers and the shadows, continued to haunt her. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the leaves brought back the chilling echoes of the past. She could still hear the faint, eerie whispers that seemed to come from the very walls of the manor, voices that spoke of secrets long buried and horrors best left forgotten. The shadows, too, were ever present in her mind, shifting and twisting in the corners of her vision. They seemed to follow her, a constant reminder of the darkness she had encountered. The abandoned manor remained, a silent sentinel on the hill, its secrets buried deep within its crumbling walls. Its secrets remained buried, its horrors kept at bay. But the question lingered. Was Maya truly free, or was she forever tethered to the darkness she had encountered within those walls? The manor stood as a grim reminder of the night that had changed her life forever, its presence a constant shadow over her thoughts. The horrors she had faced were not just confined to the manor. They had seeped into her very being, haunting her dreams and casting a pall over her waking moments. She could feel the weight of the manor's secrets pressing down on her, a burden she could not escape. The question of her freedom was one she could not answer, for the darkness seemed to have a hold on her soul. Or was she forever tethered to the darkness she had encountered within those walls? The answer perhaps lay hidden in the wind, whispering through the broken windows of the abandoned manor. The wind carried with it the echoes of the past, the voices of those who had come before her, and the secrets that the manor still held. The answer perhaps lay hidden in the wind, whispering through the broken windows of the abandoned manor. The wind seemed to carry with it the voices of the past, the faint echoes of those who had once walked the halls of the manor. It was as if the very air was alive with the memories of the horrors that had taken place within those walls. Whispering through the broken windows of the abandoned manor, the wind seemed to speak of the secrets that lay hidden within. It was a reminder that the past was never truly gone, that the horrors of the manor still lingered, waiting to be uncovered. And as Maya stood there, listening to the wind, she knew that the darkness was not something she could easily escape.